Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. This is the FloTrack Podcast. I'm Kevin. He is Gordon. Our email address, FloTrackPodcast@gmail.com. We're doing some over-unders for the first weekend of indoor track and field action. Going to throw some road racing over-unders in there as well because we got the Houston half marathon and marathon coming up this weekend. Gordon, happy first day of track because you said Wednesday was the last day before track.
No, I didn't say it was the last day before track. I
What
said
did
it
you
was
say?
the final slow news day of the podcast.
Before track started.
Before track
Yeah,
started.
so the last day before track season.
Yeah, and this is also the final nothing to react to podcast. Because the
We
season
will have reactions.
the
after
season
this.
starts like tonight, kind of. There's some races going on right now as we talk. There's some races going on tonight. Saturday's going to be great. Sunday, obviously, we have Houston half. But we're going to be doing some over-unders today. And what I want to do, though, is we both have a clean slate. And I think we're going to do this segment over and over and over again.
We're going to keep
And we're
a
going to
record.
keep track. Keep a record. And then we're going to see, we should think whoever has the better record by the end of the year
Wins. All right.
the other person treats the other person to a steak dinner.
I'm in. I mean, maybe not steak dinner
Come on,
because,
steak dinner bet.
but you're like
Just do a
really
steak.
you eat every time I see you, you're eating kale. So I don't want to get you off of your
I can do
nutritional
a steak.
program.
I can do
Okay.
a steak for you.
right,
We'll
that's
do
fine.
it in December.
Okay.
We'll go to
Right after you do your backflip, right?
yeah.
Okay. I'm
And
down.
then, but whoever you're still getting a steak. You just have to pay for both. So
Yeah.
you're paying for 2 steaks and eating one.
I like it. Are
Yeah.
you going to keep track of this though? That's always the hardest part. You got to keep track of it.
Yes, I'm going to attempt to keep track of it.
We got a handy document right here where you can just put Kevin or Gordon.
Yeah, and
And-
also the viewers could keep track of it for us.
Well, I want you
They
to know.
want to.
They're
That
not
might
going to
be
do
easier.
that. No, they're not going to do that. This is not a two-way operation. We provide a service to the viewers.
Okay,
They don't need to do
fair
our
enough.
work for us. Here's the thing, though. I'm not going to always pick the opposite direction as you. I'm going to pick
That's fine.
what I believe.
Yeah,
So there could be some weeks here where we're pretty similar.
That's fine.
Okay.
But eventually we're gonna zig and we're gonna zag and you're gonna go off the deep end and I'm gonna go up the mountain and it's
So-
gonna be great.
So I set the lines this week. Should we alternate?
Yes.
Because I feel like that could give someone an advantage if we don't mix it up. So you think every week we switch?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
This is gonna be fun.
Let's dive in.
We just created a year-long segment just now.
Pencil in Fridays, guys. Buckle
Fridays
up.
over-unders. It's gonna be great.
Nothing that happens like if there's a Friday morning or Thursday night big track race, it's not going to get included.
Let's do a
The previous
one-off,
week? Yeah.
one-off Wednesday or whatever. It doesn't matter.
That's tough.
Okay, over-unders.
Are you ready? I set the lines here.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, let's go.
First one.
First one, Matthew Boling of Georgia. He's running a 300, Gordon. He's running a 300 in Clemson. I will venture to say this is going to be a very tough time to predict. It's off distance. It's early season. I went with 32.1 for Matthew Boling in this indoor 300. You going over or under?
So 32.1 is the second fastest time in collegiate history.
Yes.
The collegiate record is 31.99 by Ja'Cory Patterson, who's still in school.
Mhm.
What is Boling's 300 PB? Does he have a 300 PB?
I was not able to find a 300-meter PB, which was what made this so difficult. But I'm looking at how good he is in the two. And I've always been a Boling 400-meter believer. I hope more than anything, maybe we get some more Boling 400s this year. Could this be the first step? I don't know. Maybe it's just an early season over distance test. It sounds like you're leaning over the 32.1. I did use the Ja'Cory Patterson mark as kind of a marker there.
I'm going under, man. I think we're going to see a 31.9. I think he's going to break the collegiate record.
31.9, which would put him in elite company.
Yeah.
But this is not a race that's run very often. Fastest indoor 300 time in history, Stephen Gardner, 31.5. Noah Lyles in Albuquerque ran 31.87, while Spearman ran 31.88. Just to give people an idea of some times. But you think he's going to go sub 32?
I think it's going to sub 32.1 because that's the line that
Yep.
going off of. And then I'm going to hope that maybe we see something special. But I'm willing to think that there's a good chance he runs 32.0 or 31.9. He's one of the best talents. He's
quick track too. Tracks
quick track.
Produce some fast times.
He's run 19s in the 200. We know what he can split in 4x4s. He splits 43s and 4x4s. I mean, that's a better version of a Corey Patterson. Patterson a little bit better, obviously, in the 400, but Boling much better than Patterson
in the shorter
200.
Stuff.
So,
yeah. The only reason I have a little bit of hesitation early season, maybe I should have added another 10th or two. I'll go the opposite way on you. I'll go over. I'm keeping track of these as we go. But the bigger question I have is this going to lead to longer distance stuff for Matthew Boling? I can't get the 4x4 from the Texas State meet out of my head and just how good he was in the quarter, in the 2, in the 100, in all those events. Haven't really seen him do it much in college. I mean, has a 45.51 PB, which is really good from indoors. He ran that Carolina Challenge back in 2021. So 400 ability is still there. I hope we see it. Let's move on to the next one.
So you're going over.
I'm going over.
You're over and I'm
okay,
under.
so you're keeping track on that document.
I got the master document.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Next one, Steiner. Abby Steiner, indoor 400. This is her first 400 indoors or out since high school. Looked up her high school PB. As best I could see, it was 57.2. I did not use that as a line, though.
Yeah,
that is not the over-under.
I think she's faster than 57.2.
Way under on that one. So this is a 300-meter track, correct? That Abby Steiner's racing
flat
on?
300-meter
Flat 300 track. So then it gets really difficult. I went 51.5 as the over-under for Abby Steiner. 51.5.
Dude, I think it's under. I think she's can run 50. I mean, it's weird to think about because 50 is not what we think it is because a lot of these women can run in the 48s on 4x4 splits and 49s.
But it's indoors.
It's indoor.
Yeah.
But it is flat 300 and it is Abby Steiner. And I think that she is, it'd be so weird to see her go out there and run a 51.7. That seems so slow to me to attach that to Steiner. So I think she has to be under
51.5. You're going under. Yeah, you look at this. The 100th best time in an indoor 400 is 50.85. I feel like she could get into that mix. But the opener element too.
That's the idea. It's the opener. And you also have no their expectation. Are they going to be doing a hard workout the day before or whatever? Like you have no idea.
Flat track too. You're going under.
Going under.
Okay, I'm going to go over again.
Ooh.
I'll be the over guys, even though I set the line here. All in the game says sub 51. Yeah, I went back and forth on this one. Ultimately, just the uncertainty of knowing the purpose of it and the track itself led me to bump it up another half second. Let's move to the distances for a moment.
Okay.
Matthew Centrowitz is back. He's running. He's actually doubling up at UW. So he's running 1,000 and then he's running the mile. Now the 1,000 comes first. The 1,000 comes first. And in that 1,000, he's got some good competition there. Johnny Gregoric, Joe Wascom. But my question is about the mile, which is later. Mile.
It's in Heat 5, right?
He is in Heat 5 of 5.
So how long after he runs the 1K is this mile?
Fastest heat. You had the schedule up. I'm not sure.
It's a little under 2 hours.
So Kai Robinson's in there. Cole Sprout's in there. Isaiah Harris is in there. As of now, could be some changes.
Kieran Lum, he's good.
Yeah. So given that Centro's had...
Nathan Green's good.
He's coming back from injury, and he's going to be doubling. Over under 1.5 for his place.
In that mile.
In the mile.
Against Sprout, Robinson, Lum. Harrison's.
Maybe this is the beginning of Harris as a miler.
I mean, I think Kieran Lum wins this race. And, I'm going to have to go under. I mean, wait. Over. I'm going over. 1.5 place. So I think he's finished. He's not going to win the race.
You don't think he's going to win the race?
I do not think he's going to win.
Not okay. Should I move it to 2.5? Would that be a better line?
No, because I want to win this game. So I'm going over.
I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over too. I read a post where he said goal to be competitive, and when you're doubling, early season.
You know what? Okay.
Getting
Then
your
let's
feet
make
wet.
the line 2.5. You still taking the over?
Yeah, I'll still go
Me too.
over. Okay.
We make the line 3.5.
No,
going over?
No. You don't get to control the lines. I set the lines this week.
2.5 is the line, and we're both going over.
Yeah, I could see him getting third, but again, the goal for him just being competitive. I think he'll walk away with that. He ran that road mile in Hawaii at the end of the season, but he's had a tough go of it the last year or so with all the injuries and everything. So
we both think he's going to finish outside of top 2 in the college field.
Yes, and where else? I'm not going to panic because it's January and he'll be fine. I remember was it 2021 when he ran that 800 in Florida and he was way out of it, and everyone's like, "This is it. He's not going to make the team." And then fast forward to Eugene, and he was right there with Hawker with 100 to go. So not going to mean much ultimately, but I think this one will be just an adjustment.
How confident are you that Central makes it?
I got to see everybody else.
I'm not confident.
Well, I know, but you weren't confident
How old is he?
You weren't confident that year either. He is 33.
Yeah, that's old. For a 1,500 meter runner, it's old.
Unless
you're Nick
you're
Willis.
older?
Yeah, I'm old.
You're older.
Who cares if I'm older? That means I'm older than everyone.
Yeah. So he ran in Miramar April 10th, 150, and got 6th. And I remember you were writing his obituary. And I said, no. Hold on. Just wait.
Yeah.
I think I said that. I'm not sure if I said that.
Yeah, and then he went on as well. But then
then everybody was all shocked. Everybody was all shocked when he got second. It was like, actually, that was pretty good considering he was running 150.
No, but when he ran the May race, the track meet race, when he
Yeah.
ran 3:36, then you knew.
Usually when someone says, "Oh, I just want to be competitive and get out there and mix it up," you're like, "Wait a minute. You were really good last year. You'll be fine." With him, I think you should pay attention to that this time because he's been off for so long.
Yeah.
So I do think if he is in the mix with these top collegiate runners, I think that's a good sign for where he could be in a couple months. All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes. This is a fun game.
Okay, this one's fun. Makai Williams of Oregon. Over under 6.48. Now you might be thinking, that's really fast. That's his PB. But he set his PB in this same meet last year.
Really?
Yes. So if you pull up Makai Williams' T-First page, I can pull it up right here. You can see the Cougar Classic was the site of his personal best. And that's why I'm holding it as a line. What do you think?
I think it's over. I don't think he runs sub 648. I think he runs like 652.
652?
Going over.
Should I have made it slower?
No. I don't control the line, man. You're the line guy. So I think he runs over 648. What do you think?
I've been over on everything, haven't I?
Yeah.
I'm going to go under.
There you go.
I'm going under. I think we're going to see a big Makai Williams year. It's going to be a leave no doubt year for Makai Williams.
He probably would have won the 60 last year if he didn't false start.
Yeah.
So
I think, and outdoors didn't go well for him either. I think this is going to be the season of revenge for Makai Williams. So that's in the Podium complex out there in Spokane, the new indoor facility, which pretty fast. Who's in that race? Can you pull that one up one more time, Colt? Who's running that 60 against him?
So it's a prelim final. So
I get two shots at it.
The best people are across different races. So probably the next best person. There's not really much. Yeah, Brendan Stewart is probably the next one in line.
Yeah, so he's gonna.
So he's not gonna be pushed, which gives my over a better shot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I don't know.
All right,
Johnny Blockenberger's there. Blockberger.
Johnny Block. Is he running the 60 or the?
He's running the 60.
Oh, okay. Dalton Johnson says over. He thinks 6.51. That's pretty close. Again, I initially was like, I'm gonna put it in the mid 6.5s, but then I saw what he ran last year, and I think he's gonna be a level up this year. And he was pretty good last year. Next one, we're gonna go to the roads now. You ready?
No.
Houston half.
Now I'm ready.
I said Emily Sisson's over under 67.11. Now,
American record.
Yeah, she set that one in Indianapolis, but her best time in Houston is pretty fast as well too. So We know the field's going to be good. Weather should be pretty good too.
Weather, it will be 58 degrees at 7 a.m.
Yeah. And she's run
18 mile per hour winds.
So she's run 67:30 in Houston.
9 per hour winds at 7 a.m.
Okay. That's good to factor in. You got to take all weather elements. And
according to this weather sheet, the wind is going in this direction.
Okay. Well, I don't know. The course might be going in this direction. I'm not sure.
So I'm gonna have to get up my. I'm gonna have to get up my protractor to figure out.
67:11 seems ambitious. So she'd have to run 19 seconds faster than her best time on that course. Then again,
wait, doesn't she have the American record?
Yeah, but it was in Indy. It wasn't at Houston. Yeah. So she ran that in Indianapolis in May of last year. Then she went to set the American record in the marathon. So she's on a roll right now. And that time, 67:30, comes from, 2019? Maybe? Yeah, she's better than that. I'm going under. I think she gets it.
I'm going over.
Under 67:11.
Going over.
For Sisson, for me. On the men's side, I went with Mance, and I just took his PR, which is 60:55. And I'm going to go under on that as well, too. Because his fields are really good. And he's going to get dragged.
60:55?
60:55 for Mance.
Yeah, I'll go under.
I mean, I don't think we're going to see anything like insane. Like, I don't think he's going to get to Ryan Hall territory here in the half, but I think he can knock off 10, 15 seconds at that time.
So we've each taken 3 unders and 3 overs.
It's working out.
But not, we've only had 2 of ours are the same.
This segment's really working.
So someone's going to smoke the other person up. This is going to be good. All right, here we go.
All right. I added this one late because it's got world record in the title. So we got to talk about it, right? And it takes place in the world record headquarters now of Valencia, Spain. So Yelam Zerf-Yahuala trying to break her own road 10K record. She ran 29:14. That's the mark, 29:14, which this story in World Athletics mentions only been bettered twice on the track by 2 different athletes, Gidey and Hassan. Those are the only 2 who have run faster on the track. So I'll set the over-under at that. 29:14, Yahuala in Valencia. Does she break her own mark?
I say over.
Going no world record?
No world record.
No world record. I'm going to say over as well, too. Precisely because of that stat, only 2 people have run faster on the track. There's got to be a limit here, right? There's got to be a point when these road times are going to slow down or at least hold steady.
So, Cole, I have
2:17 marathon.
I put in a Google sheet on the thing, and this is, we can see kind of we can recap our over-unders. You can see what the chat says about who they think is going to have a better day, a better weekend with their predictions. So when Colt brings us up, we'll go over through what we have here. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. We agreed on 3 of them. So Boling, 332.1. I took the under. You took the over.
Mm-hmm.
Steiner, 51.5. I took the under. You took the over. Centro, over under 2.5 place in the mile.
Mm-hmm.
Both took over. Williams, 60.48 in the 6. I took over. You took under.
6.48.
6.48.
Yep.
I took over. You took under. Sisson, American record. You took the under. I took the over. Mance, PBing. We both believe that's going to happen with the unders. And then 10K world record. We took the over. We don't think that's happening.
Or Yahuala. Yeah.
You want to make any last minute changes? You like where you stand?
No, I'm confident.
Mm-hmm.
Confident this is going to be. I'm going to open the season with a couple
7-0?
wins.
You
No,
7-0?
no. If I went 5-2, I'd be thrilled. David points out you can wear faster shoes on the road than the track. Yeah, I know, but it just
doesn't make sense.
The course, right?
And track.
I know. Valencia. Every road is downhill. I understand that at this point, but it's just still strange to me that people could run faster on that. I'm old school. I remember those days where track was the fastest place to run. Khalil says Mekhi Williams 6.47 at best, but he definitely wants to run the collegiate record ASAP. Pull up the collegiate record or that all-time list.
In what?
Good. 60.
All-time list.
Men's 60, yeah.
Men's 60.
Let's see what that looks like.
U.S. or collegiate?
Collegiate.
Cool. I'll put it in the thing right underneath the date. We got Leonard Miles Mills, who did 6:45 at altitude, along with Coleman ran 6:45.
Ooh, so he's
Terrence Jones technically ran 6:45, but we all are confused about that one, right?
Yeah, still confused.
And then Marcus Brunson 6:46, Ronnie Baker 6:47.
Okay.
And then Scott 6:48, then Burrell and Williams there at 6:48.
So you don't have Williams is right there.
Yeah,
he's already right there. So if he does go under, we're getting into collegiate record territory. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if we heard, in Albuquerque or something later on in the year.
I can see him breaking it this year.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening on
the opener?
January 14th.
Yeah. But he doesn't need to go break it to go under. He's got 3 100s to spare before he fully breaks it.
That's true.
Tom says over-under for Kevin getting a haircut 1 week. I was thinking about that today. Well, I noticed my son needed a haircut. I said, maybe we should just go in together. Do it at the same time.
I've done a new thing.
I have bad haircut experiences, though.
Really?
I don't like talking to people, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. My wife cut it for forever.
Okay.
But then she quit on me and said, do it.
She retired.
Get it yourself. So I like the way
that you let it grow out, Kevin. I know this is a rough time right now. This is a rough period, but once you get past this, it's going to be awesome to have long hair.
So, Cole, you'll appreciate this. In high school, I shaved my head, like with a 1 all the way down. Like I had a buzz cut. And then I went away to college, and I went an entire calendar year without cutting my hair. And I came back, and no one, it was, down to below my eyes. And I didn't even know I had curly hair. Dead serious. I had no knowledge, and people didn't know. And I said, yeah, neither did I. But then the more it grew out, the curlier it got. So
I had hair that was down to my shoulders at one point.
You did? Nice.
Yeah. I changed my thing where I now get a haircut. I used to get a haircut every 3 or 6 months. Now I get it every 3 weeks.
Really?
Change it up.
Why?
I don't know.
Just wanted to support your local barber?
Yeah, and I realized if I want to keep it short, I need to cut it.
Do you
more
know
often.
your barber?
No, I just go to the place and I walk in and it's a new person.
You don't request a specific person. Yeah, I've had good experiences there and experiences where I was like, all right, that really wasn't got to cut more.
Well, you can tell them to cut more. You
I know
that,
but
right?
I've done it a couple times, but then I do feel bad.
Ask them to do their job.
Well, they do the whole thing because then I don't know, and then I look at it later and it's like, okay, that's not as short as I wanted. I'm bad. I fully admit I had no idea what to say. I had to ask my wife. I said, "What do you do?" I'd never paid for a haircut.
You just say, "Can you take a little more off the side?" Or
no. I mean, even when you go in there,
you don't know how to. You've never walked into a hairstylist before.
I hadn't.
You go in and say, "Hey, I would like a haircut."
Well, I got that part.
And then they'd be like, all right, we're not available right now. He's like, all right, can I put my name down for the next appointment? You're like, yeah.
No, I know how to schedule an appointment. It was just how to describe what I wanted because I didn't really know what I want.
Take a picture of your old self.
Yeah.
And then show it to him.
Yeah. It just was too much. Because I didn't really care. I just wanted it shorter. That was my main thing. It was the summer. It was hot. So, yeah, the first time I paid for a haircut was 2 years ago, which people would be like, yeah, we can tell, Kevin. All right, I get it. That's not nice.
Thomas Lester said, just go with the same barber as the Raiders owner, Mark Davis.
That
would be fun.
That's a rough haircut.
Good shout.
That's a rough haircut. Okay. We all want to talk about anything else? Colt, what do we got? Gordon, got anything?
Yeah, you should talk about transfer news.
Transfer news, yeah. Amaris Taisma transferring from Alabama to NC State. We talked about how the coaching carousel was going round and round and how that would impact some of the athletes at these schools, such as Florida and Alabama. And now we see Taisma, who's twice has finished in the top 10 in NCAA cross. She's going to join the champs in Raleigh. So another big name for NC State.
Yeah, and if you look at let me look at the Penn relays. Let's get excited about Penn relays again. It's never too early to talk about Penn relays. I'm going to bring up last year's 4x1500 results. And Colt, I'll put it in the chat for you.
Going way back to the 4x15?
Yeah. So, as you guys know, NC State finished second to Arkansas. I'll put this in the chat. Not in the chat, but there it is. So, Arkansas, they split 416, 413, 412, and then Chrissy Gear ran that 410. A close finish against Tui. They ended up beating NC State by less than 2 seconds. Anna Vest ran 417. Samantha Bush ran 410. Savannah Shaw ran 417. Caitlin Tui ran 409. Throwing in this Alabama transfer makes their team 10x better, right? Obviously, Arkansas loses a bunch, but NC State just gets better. Having 2 sub 410 women on your roster is going to make them very hard to beat. And now, though, not only will basically NC State won't be racing another team for the win, they'll be able to be racing the 2022 Arkansas women and just try to break 16:53.
Well, they're trying to go off the record then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that record got smashed last year.
But then you look at the times, I mean...
Yeah, and part of that was they had each other to push each other, so you'd need someone else there to get the most out of it, but if the talent is there, then they could probably do it. Yeah. Lori Hennis, she's done a great job recruiting, obviously, getting a lot of the nation's best to go to NC State, and then now also with the transfers, right? It's just like big name after big name after big name there. So I wasn't entirely surprised that she chose to go there after her coach left Alabama to go to Florida.
I mean, even if you look at the times they ran in that race, but like Tui has run a 406.
Yeah.
Nevada Marino has run 413. Samantha Bush has run 413. Savannah Shaw has run 416, and then Harris has run 409 or 408 or something like that.
Yeah, their practices and their workouts are going to be they're going to be exposed to some of the best running in the nation just on their own campus.
And I imagine
at this point,
what is Camille's? She didn't run outdoors last year.
Mm-hmm.
What's Kelsey Camille's
1500
PR?
Yeah,
I'm sure that's good. She's run 424. But she's running 436 miles, but she's better than that. So you throw in her as well, their 4x15 is going to be crazy.
Was there any other transfer news that happened during the
No,
off-season?
I mean, it does make NC State, the women, going to be really hard. They're heavy favorites down to 3P. She was 9th. They're replacing, they're adding the number 9 finisher from last year to their roster. And I mean, it kind of reminds me, we could be seeing potentially if Tui stays another year, which will be hard, but if she does, they're going to be able to kind of really bridge the loss of anyone that is important with these incoming transfers. And they could go for the 3P, and then if they win the 3P, they're going to look at the roster and be like, why can't we win again? Because when you keep winning, you're like, why not? I finished 20th last year. I'm going to finish 20th again this year.
Yeah, it's probably got to be pretty appealing, too, for people looking for a new opportunity, a new school. Hey, they already have this winning tradition. It'd be fun to join that team, even as 4th, 5th, or 6th runner. People want to be a part of championship programs. So kind of success breeds success.
Kids are saying these
days.
They
say. Were you going to compare? You were going to compare them to NAU, weren't you? That's where
I was about to. Yeah.
Okay.
They're they could be. I mean, we could look back 4 years from now and be like, this. Yeah. Maybe this transfer is the reason why when NAU got. Oh my God, George Kusha. Yeah. Sorry, George. He's been one of that transfer from Nebraska to NAU.
Yeah.
He has been vital for them to have a good person in their top 5. To make up for anyone else. And when you have these vet experienced people on your roster, it's really it helps bridge the gap when a certain talent that you thought would develop doesn't. You have this already established developed talent.
Yeah.
And that's what Maris is going to be. She's going to be an already established developed talent. So if one of their freshmen or sophomore kind of has a non-upwarding
say off
season, has an off season. You're just well, she's not, because she's an established vet.
Yeah. Gordon, making up new words here.
Yeah.
In 2023.
One of my
Shout
New
out
Year's
to you.
resolutions. Make up new words.
The Gordon Dictionary, available now. We should sell that. That'd be a great,
Gordon Dictionary.
great product. Yeah, get that in the merch store.
Oh, speaking of,
You're getting a lot of text. What's happening? Oh, you brought the gift cards.
Brought the gift cards.
Awesome.
We didn't send them yet.
Not yet. I took the first step though. I put people's names on envelopes. So we're getting
it's a
there.
process.
Yeah, I haven't put the stamps on yet, but we wrote our names, put their names. Got to write the
thank you letter.
Write the thank you letter as well.
Is it gonna be Christmas themed?
Or the congratulations? This is not. We're not giving away this Shake Shack one because that expired. We talked about that
Dude,
already.
expiration dates on.
It's not money though. Remember?
Yeah, but expiration dates on these things, it's a lie. It's to convince you to throw them out.
It's because it's a free burger. That's how they get around it. It's not an actual. There's no monetary value with it.
It's a free
not
shake.
a gift card.
This is a free shake.
Oh, sorry, free shake. I should have known, seeing as how it's the shape of a shake.
I'm gonna go use this.
Try it. See what happens. Try it. Anybody have any questions in the chat before we go? Any predictions? You want to leave it there, Gordon?
Well, that's the whole. We did predictions. We literally. That's what
No. People in the chat. Do they want to make any predictions? It's not about you at this point. So.
There's got to be something else that happened in the world of track and field. No.
Some loud. Cole, can you hear all those loud noises coming from next door?
No, it's not coming through.
All right.
There's got to be something.
No, that's it, Gordon. I think we covered all of it.
Was that Norris?
Going to OAC.
OAC.
I saw a lot of tweets. OAC. They got a big group now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they keep growing and growing and growing. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, David asked, what about new pro sponsorships? That was the main. Is there another one that I'm missing?
I mean, we talked about the Hoka NAC Elite things. Yeah, it'll be interesting when we start seeing the Bowerman athletes. I'm going to be excited about because they've kind of been laying low. Like all like the announcements of who's running like at notable races, none of them are Bowerman runners. You notice that? Like, is Bowerman going to Milrose? Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, the roster's certainly smaller.
Yeah.
Especially on the women's side of things.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
They're kind of staying low key right now.
I mean, maybe they'll go to BU instead, you think?
Maybe.
Yeah. The formula they had worked, like in terms of just getting qualifiers. And like, look at what Fisher did. He wasn't racing all the time, but when he raced, it was
very good.
10 out of 10 every single time. Yeah, David says Ribbich to UAC. Yeah, we talked about Engels leaving UAC, right? Going back to Van Noy in California. We'll see what SoCal Craig has to transforms his career. I'm excited to see what he does.
I'm really excited for Monday's podcast because that's going to be the first real podcast that we've ever done.
Yeah. Well, the first real podcast that we've ever done? What do you mean? What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
We've never had results before?
Yeah, we've been kind of the off season for track is way too long. Because when did track end? Ends.
Well, the problem is it never ends, but it also never starts.
But it technically ended like what, September? First week of September? Yeah, right? There's Diamond League's first week of September.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's Continental Tour stuff.
No, that ended first week of September. So we had all of October, November, December. It's been like 4 months, but like you're sprinkled with random college things here, a cross country race there, a road race here.
Yeah.
And it's just like they make you feel like it's back, but it's never actually back.
Sure.
It's back this weekend. As FloTrack Ryan Fenn used to say,
track
is back.
Yeah.
Track is back.
When you have 5 or 10 meets with people who make teams or are in NCAA finals, like that's when and we're well over that this weekend. But yeah, you're right. It is kind of tricky, right? Valencia Marathon happens. It's just like, okay, that's a big race, but that's in December.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, when does the season end? When
feels all one off.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Cool.
It's Friday. Enjoy your Friday.
Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend?
I am not sure. I'm going to be a dad like I am every weekend. Do whatever the kids say.
I'm going to a Beatles/Rolling Stones cover band concert.
Oh, cool.
Where it's 2 bands.
Okay.
Well, 2 stages, and one is a Beatles stage and one's a Rolling Stones stage with multiple artists playing covers.
Okay.
What stage do you think I'm going to be at more often? the Beatles stage or the Rolling Stones stage?
I mean, I would be at the Beatles stage more, but you seem more like a Rolling Stones guy, which is why we don't get along, and apparently I hate you. No, I don't know.
No, I'll be at the Beatles.
Beatles stage?
I'll be at Beatles stage.
You are? Yeah, now that I think about it.
I'll be at the Beatles stage.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it depends how good the cover band is, though, too.
Yeah.
Because if you have a really awesome Rolling Stones cover band, you're going to go over there. Makes sense.
I can hear the loud noises now.
Okay, we can hear loud noises. There's an event going on over here. They're doing like hype music or something.
I don't even know.
It's not
It's
hype
Friday.
music for the pod. That's it. All right, anything we can get to, we'll get to it next week.
Like and subscribe. Monday's going to be a killer podcast. It's going to be the first real podcast of the year. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. We'll see you then. Thanks, Colt. Have a good weekend.